miss a young lady in the building today, and I ain't gonna keep her longer than she's supposed to be here because she was here before I got here, so I know she mean business. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, then I get her, she's blasting me. Oh, Chip. I ain't Chip like. I don't know the station. My town don't even know who Chip is. You know, so I'm gonna introduce her, and then I'm gonna give y'all that Chip shit later. But we got Miss Vonda Bailey in the building.
Hello, good evening.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored. Praise Jesus.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Now, I brought you in here today because you a family law attorney. What do you do?
That's right. I primarily handle family law cases. My practice is actually pretty general. I do handle some personal injury cases, and I'm also tapping into the business sector as well. But primarily, I handle family law cases.
Family law cases. You got domestic situation. She's the lady to come see.
That's right.
Okay. Do you think he take care of some traffic tickets, though?
Oh, yeah, saying. We handle those, too. If you have traffic tickets, licensing issues, we lift warrants, we do 24-hour jail releases. Yeah,
she just got, like,
10
people smiling somewhere big. I need to.
I'm trying.
Contact info. We need to follow her.
I'm trying to let them know right now, man. They tune in, man, because we got some good information for you. We're gonna ask some questions. I'm gonna ask some questions for people that's scared to speak up, because I don't have them type of situations. You know, I never really. Yeah, she can contest.
Yeah.
I've never been tripping. You know, she can prove that.
You wanted to say a victim of.
Nah, man, listen. I told y'all. Mama says nothing wrong with hanging with damn fools. Just don't hang with them while they damn fooling.
That's
and
right.
That's exactly what I did.
True.
Because I ran with all the damn fools. Did I not?
Yeah, but you didn't act like them.
I got, man, that's what I'm talking about. We finna take a song break.
He's one of those.
I'm one of those child support victims. One that's on child support.
Oh, you a victim?
Yeah.
What any questions, concerns you got? What you want to know, man?
Well, my question is, like, I know they say they have, like, programs and stuff like that like, you know, help those that's, you know, that's trying to do what they're supposed to do. And, like, it's like my situation and, like, the whole system, like, they're just basically sucking me up dry, you know. And I've tried to find, you know, programs that can help those situations.
Right. I understand the frustration with it, but unfortunately the Texas law does not take into consideration the obligor. That's the person who pays child support. They don't take into consideration, per se, your personal expenses, like your rent, your electricity, and things of that nature. They base what is taken from the parent, from your child. They base your child support on how many kids that you have. So if you have one child in the state of Texas, it's based at 20%, and it goes in 5% increments from that. So for 2 children, like you said, you have 2 children, correct?
Yeah, but I don't think they know that because, I mean, do they know that?
Well, that would be up to you to tell them that. They wouldn't, the child support office, they know a lot about financials because they have the access to that, but they wouldn't necessarily know that you have more than one child. That would be your responsibility to let them. And if you have not notified them of that, or the mother of the other child that has you on child support did not notify them of that, then you could qualify to for a modification where you would file a petition asking the court to reduce your child support so it can reflect that you have 2 children, because it should be based on 25% versus 20%, which means that it would be a little bit more. You can do that on your own through the court system. You can ask the attorney general to do it. My personal recommendation is to hire an attorney, i.e. me. I do that.
The third with the custody. What is 5 things that they should know before, you know, we can go into court? What's some important things they need to know before they even get in there?
The first thing I would say is make sure you're not giving the other parent money directly. If you want to support your child financially, that's fine, but you need to create a registry with the court, and that's where you will send your payments in directly to the court and they will create a registry that is not child support typically, not like through the state like what most people would think. It just creates a record to show that you've paid this amount on this day, and the court will actually make sure that the funds get transferred from the registry to the other parent.
Oh, so you don't have to be on child support for that.
No, that's before child support, and I would actually recommend everybody do that because I know you've all heard people say, "I have my receipts."
Yes.
They didn't even listen to it. They still hit me for back child support. Well, that's why, because typically you do not get credit for informal payments. That's an informal payment if you're given a payment that's not court ordered. So that would be my first recommendation. My second recommendation would be to make sure that you are actually a part of your kids' lives. Get on some type of schedule. If there's no court order, you and the other parent, you guys sit down and actually try to come up with a visitation schedule. The third thing is be very selective who you choose to be your significant others in your relationships, because and I'm not speaking about the two parents themselves, I'm speaking about the parents dating outside of that, because those people typically are the ones who frustrate the situation. It's really not the parents. It's either the new girlfriend or the new boyfriend. The fourth thing I would recommend is that you make sure that when you do show up for court, you leave them at home, that significant other. Even in some cases, if it's your husband or your wife, depending on the situation, it may not be a good idea to have them there. And I mean, it's a bunch of things on the list, but I mean, if I had to go beyond 5, make sure you're documenting everything. The time you get your child, the time you drop them off. If you are giving out money, you're keeping a record of it. I would highly recommend you do a court registry, and definitely, don't walk into the courtroom without an attorney.
Without Miss Vonda.
Or, yeah, Miss Vonda, of course.
Well, hopefully, you get it together. You ain't going to have to worry about going there without no attorney. You got Miss Vonda back in the building. She is here for you. And y'all welcome. I'm welcome. I'm giving y'all welcome. You ain't got to thank me now. Thank me later.
Right.
And you welcome. And the consequences of not fulfilling your agreement. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. That's a hot topic. So whenever you're court ordered to pay child support and you fail to pay child support, the other parent on their own or the attorney general can file what's called a motion for enforcement against you. And the motion for enforcement pretty much holds you in civil and criminal contempt. You can be placed on probation for it, and you can also be placed in jail. It's up to 180 days, which equates to about 6 months per violation.
Tell us the violation.
The violation.
Tell us
So
the line boss.
if you're court ordered to pay child support, whether it's on the 1st of the month or the 15th of the month, each time that you fail to make that child support payment, you're going to be held in violation of it. And a lot of people think that, hey, I didn't. So let's say you're sending it in, or you change your job, and they don't take it out of your check. If they don't take it out of your check, it's your responsibility to still send in that payment, because you have to make sure that it gets to that person. You have to do it through the manner that's required. So if it's court ordered that you send it through the state disbursement unit, which is in San Antonio, that's how you have to do it. Because even giving it to mom, you're still accruing interest with the attorney general, and you can still be held in contempt for it.
Interest.
So she could get paid twice.
Well, it's not like she's getting paid twice. It's just it tags on interest. So anytime you don't pay your child support, there's a 6% interest that hits that amount every month. And that's standard what the attorney general
They got bills
on
on
it.
these kids. Late payment. You get late charges.
It's like with anything else. You have a loan.
You have
a loan. You have something like that. You're gonna pay interest on the amount.
Why
I mean, the
y'all
state
pay
has
interest
to
on the
get.
children, though.
The state has to get their money. They're providing the service.
But why is it that though? Like, why is it that if she getting food stamps, they automatically put me on child support?
Well, I'm not gonna say they automatically put you on child support. What they do is, whenever you get any type of government assistance, they try to locate the father, because government assistance like the CHIP and the Medicaid, that's not health insurance. Mm-hmm. These kids actually have to be insured through somebody, whether it's private, through your job, whatever the case may be. So as long as she's getting those benefits, somebody has to pay for it. The state doesn't want to pay for it. So the father or the other parent, and believe it or not, there are a lot of women on child support too, and you know, people may not believe that, but there are a lot of
I know
men out there who are custodial parents. Those benefits have to be repaid.
Okay, so say I'm behind on my child support, and Ms. Vonda, I'm Frank. I'm
Okay.
behind on my child support. Like, I'm really behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I was put on child support when I was incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really behind because of that. But say if I get married to Moya, would she have to pay?
No,
No, and you know a lot of people think that.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of that's
see,
a misconception.
I wouldn't
When you get married, the child support office does not target the spouse's income or anything like that.
Okay, I do.
It doesn't work like that.
Okay, I do.
Okay, one more question.
Okay.
See, I'm behind, like I told you. So if she, so say she happened to pass away. You know, forgot to be, but if she just happened to die, would I still have to pay child support?
If who died?
If my baby mama died.
Frank, don't go
Yeah,
get that girl.
and that's the thing. People believe that, and it's in the court order. If you actually read your court order, every court order has it. Even if you pass away, your child support obligation does not terminate. It goes to what's referred to as your estate. You're still responsible for those child support payments. The child support order actually states that it states like 4 or 5 different ways your child support terminates. That's the child becoming 18 or graduating from high school. Let's see, the child passes away or the child becomes emancipated. So like they're underage and the court determines that they now can be an adult. Then that's how your child support obligation terminates. But just because you pass away, that doesn't mean you have to stop paying child support.
Does back pay terminate?
Back pay never terminates.
Oh, well, I'm 18.
Back pay.
So don't go and kill y'all baby mamas because it's not going away. You
No,
still
no.
gotta pay.
Back pay does
I'm
not
31
terminate.
and my mother still gets child support from me.
And she will still receive child support.
$98,000.
Look, for me, you know, I'm not in that boat. You know what I'm saying? Don't plan on being in that boat. So when I get hit with these papers, I go to court, we get to agreement. I gotta pay X amount of dollars every month. If I choose not to give baby mama no more money, I'm good with that. I can give her the X amount of dollars and that's it.
You can give her 18
Oh,
years
you're
worth of
saying
money.
what your child support is ordered?
Yeah.
Of course, you're not obligated to give any more than what you're court ordered to do.
You know, sometimes that be less than what the brothers already
Bro,
do.
you gon' do it, bro.
I'm not talking about.
I'm talking about anybody that really care about their kid. They gonna pay. They gonna pay their child support, and then they gonna do more because the system is fucked up, and the system don't want. They don't want. They really want you to really go to jail behind this shit. Get caught up on that back child support, and you still gonna have to pay the system because 9 times out of 20, the amount of money you paying on child support ain't gonna equal up to half the amount of money that they're gonna give services for. It don't even make sense, and there's no way we can beat the system. There ain't no way to change it. It's people been writing goddamn petitions, goddamn me writing acts, going to court, especially in the state of Texas. It's fucked up. But I ain't gonna even lie. Texas is better than Florida because,
And California.
like in California, like if you get married to Moya, she make 50 bands. We finna compare what both of y'all make now.
72.
Now that's what you gotta pay.
And California's, you know, the percentages are high.
The
In
percentages
Texas,
are way higher.
in Texas, for one child is 20%. In California, it's 40%.
Yeah,
So I have a
bro, it's
question.
crazy as hell.
What about people who are independent contractors and it's difficult for them to trace for the for the Attorney General to trace that person's income or anything like that? How do you deal with situations like that?
Well, the attorneys, we have very crafty ways of getting that type of information. Well, I know for me, I have great ways of doing that. But
So
you have
we
to
just
hire
need
an
to hire
attorney.
Ms. Vonda.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you have to, and I'm not just going to
Consider
say any
yourself
attorney.
hired.
You have to hire an attorney that's willing to, quote unquote, go find that information.
Right.
Quote unquote.
You just made $1,000 in this one room. I
It's in one room.
Yeah, that's right. You just made it. You gonna be doing consultation.
But one more question. And my baby mama told me the other day, if I give her $1,500, she'll take me out of child support, even though I'm behind. Will they take me out?
That will not work. Do not believe that.
Once the state picked it up, bro, she ain't got nothing to do with
So
it.
it's like a
That's-
domestic assault case.
She tried to get
Well, they can still press charges on you.
Still
You know what? That's it's funny, but that is a good analogy
Yeah.
because once the state becomes involved, you remember I talked about interest and all of that. In order for you to even be considered to come off of child support, you would have to pay all of those arrears back. Mom is the in this situation, in your situation in particular, you're the debtor. Mom is the creditor. So who can relieve a debt? A debtor or a creditor? A creditor, right?
You know, and honestly, that's true because my daughter's dad, he's been on child support since pretty much the day she came out, and it was basically because Medicaid, and all that good stuff. So he's never missed a payment. He's never, I can honestly say he's never been late on a payment. Probably because they take it out of his check. But, with that being said, he was like, well, Mimi, can we work something out to, where you take me off or get it lowered or whatever. And, my heart went out to him because he was having a really hard time. And he and I has never been, like, super bad blood.
That you put him on child support.
But, honestly, what I was supposed to do.
Fuck you mean?
I did go and I tried to do my research and see what it was. And they was like, man.
You fucked that man life up.
Ain't nothing you can do. But honestly, his life ain't fucked up because he would not have taken.
All right, so why you feeling sympathy for him? You fucked him up.
He ain't missed no day. I really.
All right, so why did you put him? Why you put him on child support?
So she can get the Medicaid, boy.
I had to get Medicaid for my daughter.
The state will make you.
No food stamps, no Medicaid.
I didn't put him on Medicaid. I didn't put him on child support. I had to get Medicaid.
Yeah, you can say you know who he was.
What am I lying for though?
What the fuck you mean? You ain't a real bitch.
My baby mama, I told her.
Man, come on, you can lie. It ain't gonna.
Hold on. All your present.
Bro,
We can ask these questions.
You're not
I'm
going
not
to
lying.
listen. But why fuck this man up?
How's he fucked up?
Because
You just said it.
all right, is he in his child life
Yes.
all the time?
No.
Exactly. That's why, bitch. You got me on child support.
Hey.
I'm speaking for every man. Man, I'm speaking for every man.
You can't speak for every man because this man went
Hey,
3
look, I
years
say the
without
word
being
bitch because
there.
they don't know their name individually.
He went without being there for 3 years, so honestly, I didn't feel that
Why?
bad.
Why?
But at the end of the day, you
Why?
gotta see the mother's point of view too at the same time.
Man, forget that because I know for sure.
What I'm a lie for, and I can't even see you
I
or
ain't
find
even
you
lie.
for 3
I hate
years
my baby
for
mama
your
guts.
daughter.
But she,
You was in them. You had to.
Nah, you right. But listen though, one thing she did some player shit. Like when she went to go fast, she was like, shit, I don't know.
When a child is born, you ride for your kid. You don't ride for nobody but
listen
your
though, you
child.
still gonna get the same benefits and same everything by saying you don't know your baby.
Nah, that's
You
a
don't know
lie.
your
I'm
baby
not
daddy.
gonna- I got
Well, I'm
enough
just
lies
saying
on
in
my
those
baby.
particular situations, that's up to the
Right,
individual.
So
you gonna get the same benefits.
Bro.
They give you a choice to say you don't know who your baby daddy is?
Yes! you a dog for even putting them in that situation.
Crazy. So then you been for 3 years.
You a dog.
What
It
you gonna
don't
do? Go back
matter. You
and
still
say
gonna
what?
get the same benefits
Bro, y'all crazy.
with or
Not
without
me.
him.
You can say that. You don't know who your baby daddy
Hey,
is.
say I don't know who my baby daddy is.
Hey. Yes.
Man, you got me crazy.
I got you heated. Yes, we are definitely on the air.
Crazy.
Oh,
Right,
yes.
that's crazy.
Nothing.
That's
We in the goddamn bed.
Hey, that's that. You know what that is?
Look.
Tell me what
I
it is.
ain't got nothing to say.
Tell me
Hey,
what
Vonda,
it
you
is.
know what that is?
We finna take a break.
That's
we
that.
gonna be right back in the
I'm
minutes
hurt
for
my
Sqbizradio.
heart. I'm gonna get this nigga back.
No, that's the
Oh,
I'm
say
wrong
this
for
shit.
No,
No,
Wait,
actually,
can I say
let me
something though? Did he have
It really
the
make you
ability
mad
to
than a
leave?
motherfucker.
Exactly, you hurt.
No, it make you mad.
Hey,
Why not?
Can I answer my question?
Why y'all want to change the
Yeah,
vernacular?
take this goddamn mic. She put this goddamn mic. Oh my God. Oh baby.
After she took it straight. I was gonna take her side, and she basically just said he wasn't her.
Okay, let
I
me
hit him with his own
answer my
shit.
question.
I'm
all right?
listening.
Oh baby.
Hey, what's
Okay.
up, Sqbizradio?
Answering my question,
Let's do this.
it has nothing to do with being hurt. Because when I put my son's dad on child support, I was working on my second degree. I was working on my master's degree. So it had nothing to do with hurt. It's doing what's right. Is it my responsibility or anybody's, any female that has a child, that child has a father.
Yep.
Father should take care of the child just like when the child grows up and the mother decides she doesn't want to do anything. If she doesn't want to be in a child's life, that's mom's choice. But should mom walk away hands-free and not have to do anything financially for their child? No, she should not. Right. And that was my situation. My son's dad was not going to get away with not paying child support. I don't care if it was $250 a month. I don't care what it was. The point was that my son is going to have something from his father to put up in his personal savings account, his CD, his IRA, those things like that.
See, them things right there, I don't think they even know what the CD and IRA shit you talking about.
It kind of
Certificate
encourages
of
the father.
Okay.
You encourage the fathers to get some stability. you're going to have to work. You're going to have to grind because you have child support.
It would be very hard for the state of Texas to make laws that say, okay, we're going to see what this woman does based on what this woman does. You can't really do that, right? They're providing a service. They're hoping that the service helps the kids, but you can't really. It's unfortunate.
So
you can't monitor.
So
you can't tell a mother how to use. You can't tell a mother or a father because there, like I said, there are some mothers who pay child support too. You can't tell them how to necessarily use it. In my personal opinion, child support is not a bad service. It's not. What has happened is that both mothers and the fathers have turned it into a fighting tool, a back and forth between, okay, I'm going to win this, you're not going to win this, or whatever the case may be. That's the reason why child support is viewed so negatively. The reason that it is there is actually great. It is there for you to help be able to support your kids by the other parent who may do something, who may not do something, but that's what it was created for.
Right.
Miss V, it's a broke, and as far as I'm concerned, and I'm speaking solely for the inner city community, AKA the hood, it's a broke bitch come
My
up.
sister on child support.
It's a broke hoe hustle. Like for real, because look though, think about it.
On child support.
All right, think about it. Think about it. Like in the majority of your cases, when a woman is asking for child support and all that, they probably can suffice on their own.
Well, here's the deal. Well, here, let me use, you know what? Okay, let me say this. Let me play devil's advocate, okay?
All right.
I'm an attorney.
True.
My son's dad is on child support. I'm a single parent.
I
could wait a minute. Let me finish. Hold on. The why is not important. Let me finish. Let me finish. The point is that I could suffice without my son's daddy's income, but would that be right for him to go without doing what he needs to do for his child financially, and it just fall on me solely? At the end of the day, regardless to who is responsible for paying child support, that child needs to be taken care of, even if I do not touch the money. The point is that that money is there for if you fall on a rough time. Let's just say for the sake of playing devil's advocate, God take everything away from me that I have, and I fall on rough times. At least I know at the end of the day, that check that my son gets a month, that's something for me to fall back on. Every woman is not like that. Every man is not abusing the system either. To be honest, it's a very small population of what you all believe that do that. Most of my clients are men, not women.
Cool.
Honestly, my daughter gets a card. Each kid who gets child support, they get a card. I got my daughter's card set up for Chase. My daughter uses her card for when she wants shit that I be like, well, I'm not buying it. Like, that's ridiculous. She has that money to go and buy for herself. You see what I'm saying? Little shit that she want to get on her own. My baby say, Mama, where my card? And I give it to her. So I don't use that to go, or whatever. Or even if, since it's 3 of them, she'll be like, Ma, get this for the twins or whatever. You see where I'm coming from? For me, like she said, I make great money. I don't have no reason to whatever. Like, my 2 sisters are on child support. So I know the deadbeat side from a female point of view, and I'm not being funny, I'm being for real. And I know the deadbeat side from the male point of view. But for my daughter, she uses her money as she see necessary. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. Field trip fees, that shit came off of her card. Because, she was like, Ma, you gotta pay for 2. And I'm a realist with my kids. My 3-year-olds understand, and my 7-year-old really understands. She was like, Ma, I'll pay for it, I got it on my card. That makes her feel good.
And you're teaching her responsibility
and I'm teaching her
at the same time.
with her card. She quick to pull that little blue card out. Quick on your ass, So it's just about, I don't believe in women who go and buy bundles with their kids' child support money. To me, that's weak. That's whack. That's what you go to work for. But for the kids, that's their money. You know what I'm saying? So whether he does anything or not, I don't ask anything over and above my daughter's daddy. If he does it, he does it. You see where I'm coming from? But if he never does it ever again in his life, because of what he's putting in that account every month, faithfully, not being late, I don't have no arguments with him. I don't get into it with him. I don't call him and ask him for anything. Now, Christmas, he called me. He like, yo, what she want? She wanted all type of ridiculous shit. But if he wants to do it, that's his choice. But in the past, he never has. I never called him. I never said a word. Because at the end of the day, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Now, anything over and above that, it's a choice.
This is why I say this. Because I grew up in a household, my grandmas, my aunties, like everybody around our
We got 8 minutes left on this topic.
Look, everybody in our whole society, it was like this. Why make if a man if you lay down with that man? This is how my mom and them taught us. If you lay down with that man, you had sex with that man, y'all formed the baby, and when y'all formed the baby, he didn't want to take care of him. Then that's his loss. He don't got nothing to have to do. He don't have nothing to do with this baby. We don't want nothing from you. We just gonna move forward and we gonna keep hustling like he was never there.
Honestly,
That's my growing up. So it's like kind of hard to.
Honestly, that's the place I'm in right now. But let me be real frank with you. Check this out. The reason I haven't even attempted this time around is because I'm like, I have two at the same time that look exactly like their daddy, but I don't have the energy to chase and to play the games and to play Inspector Gadget and to figure out who this shit name is in and what's this. But at the same time, check this out. My sons have chronic asthma. Chronic. So, them motherfucking steroids, Medicaid don't cover them all.
Yeah,
you see where I'm coming from?
So,
my other son has anemia. That don't cover it all. So sometimes you need that extra boost. But at the point I'm at in my life, why spend the energy on somebody who don't want to be there? Somebody who don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who,
we let Miss V get up off this subject though.
What?
So
I'm still on it.
When you put that man on child support, right? Like what was the steps? Like what was the steps and why?
Well, I already said it. I mean, he wasn't doing anything. I grew up in a household. With both parents. My parents been together now, 32 years?
Yep.
So it never made sense to me.
How old are you?
I'm only 31.
31? Okay.
Yeah. I'm real young. It never made sense to me.
You ain't young. You're OG, but all right.
It never made sense to me to see it any other way. You know what I mean?
Right.
I never understood that seeing a parent, one parent. I mean, I've seen it with other people, but growing up, I didn't grow up like that.
So he's involved now?
11. No.
Still to this day?
Still to this day.
He hurt.
He's resentful.
Well, you know what? That has nothing to do with me, but at the end of the day, my son, I respect the man because he does get up every day and he goes to work. And my son does get what he is deserving.
Responsibility.
And he gets, I mean, he's not going to go without anyway because of me.
Have you ever had a sit down with that man?
Have I ever tried to?
No, not trying. Trying is not enough. I learned trying is not
crazy.
enough. No, I'm just being 100.
Nothing
Like,
beats
you
an
gotta
effort
hear me
to
out,
try.
bro. Like, no, I'm saying.
Let him talk. Let him finish his sentences.
As a
Put a
woman,
gun to
y'all
his head.
gotta understand that y'all can break a man down to the point of no return.
I agree.
And 9 times out of 10, looking at the contexture of your eyeballs, the way you looking at me, asking you these questions, I know you stiff as nails, baby. So I can only imagine how you, because y'all don't see what I see. You know what I'm saying? This is scrubbing. I'm looking dead at this beautiful young lady's eyeballs right now. And I can tell she is probably mean as toenail grease on some catfish and Floyd's doing 3 o'clock lunch service. You feel me? So,
Can't deal.
have you ever actually like sat down with that man?
I have. But let me
Now,
tell
hold
you
on.
this.
You say you have. Now, what's
I
up?
have. But let me tell you this. What I'm not going to do. I'm a grown woman. He's a grown man. I'm not going to hold anybody's hand. My son is 6. Let me finish before you
That's
start
not
talking.
holding hands.
I'm going to take your mic.
All right.
So, goddamn,
My
some
son
bundle,
is 6.
man.
My son is 6, and he's very
Nah,
independent for the age of 6 years old. I do not coddle him in a lot of things that he do. Because in this world, nobody is going to hold his hand and tell him how to do it. I'm not going to tell a grown man, even my client, I'm not going to tell you the things you should and should not do. Here is the expectation. I shouldn't have to say it because this is your child.
You know
and
what you know when you do it.
I don't approach my son's father no
I'ma tell you
different
like
than I
this.
expect.